Hello all, welcome to Photo Group. In this session, we will learn how we can edit white walls images from scratch to final stepwise. Let's start with it. First of all, we are going to open today's folder and then raw images folder. In this folder, we can see some images which are from the same property. This is the bathroom shot and it looks pretty clean. We even don't have to do color casting in this image. We just have to balance the brightness. Slight alignment can be done if required, and at last, to make image look sharp and crisp, we have to add sharpness. So all these things need to be done because this lighter shot itself looked pretty good, so less work is needed. This is the living room shot. It can be clearly seen that walls are looking white. Wherever we see light bleed, especially in the door frame here, need to be fixed. The external view from the glass pane should have saturation added to the greenery. We also have to add slight warmth to the white walls to make it look subtle. That's all need to be done. This is the bedroom shot with white walls. We have to do exact same work which we have discussed in the previous image. Sometime while doing editing, we lose the yellow light effect from the ceiling, this one. So we have to retain this in terms of maintaining natural effect to this image, because sometimes over editing wash out these things. Exact same thing which we are going to apply in the previous image. Again, this is the bathroom shot. Looks pretty clean and no color correction is required. Slight can be done, but not heavy color cast we have to do with this one, as it already looks pretty good. You just have to bring out the detail with the help of brightness by darkening it. Slight alignment can be done horizontally as well as vertically over here. And at last, sharpness needs to be applied, and we see a toiletry over here. This needs to be removed. So all these things need to be done. So before starting with the editing, let's look at our style guide folder in which I have already imported one image from our style guide library. This image is the same theme image and we have to apply same kind of effect to our today's images. The brightness and color looks pretty good. We can clearly see the walls are white. A bit of warmth is added, which is looking pretty nice. The external looks pretty warm and clear enough. The three-dimensional perspective looks pretty nice in this image. The overall warmth in this image is making this image looks pretty calmer. So we have discussed all the issues in the images and we have seen our style guide image. Now it's time to start our today's editing. So let's start with the process of editing now. Step 1. Importing images to Lightroom. For this, we have to open our today's folder, which I've already opened, and then we have to open raw images folder. To select all images, we have to press Ctrl A if you are editing whole images. But for now, I'm editing only one, so I will manually select it. To import this into the Lightroom, we have to click and drag, press Alt tab to go to Lightroom and drop onto it, and then please import. Actually, this drag and drop thing is not working in Windows 11. It only works in Windows 10 and below that version. So that's the reason I have drag and drop and then press Alt tab to go to the Lightroom. So this is how we import. Step 2, stacking. To stack the image, we have to right click on it, go to stacking, auto stack by capture time. With the help of slider, we have to make it 2 seconds, and it will automatically detect that how many stacks are there. As of now, it is showing one stack because it is two shots of one single room. So one stack. We have to click on stack. After stacking, it will show as a collapse over here, and we see number 2 because this shot have two bracketed shot. If it is 3, then it could have showed 3 and 4 like that. Step 3, HDR merge. To make the HDR of these images, we have to right click on it, go to photo merge, and then HDR. It will open a pop-up window of HDR merge preview. Here we will show our final HDR. So always put these two things check on, because we want auto alignment in our image, and then auto setting means it will automatically adjust the tone of this image. So after that, we see degauss amount none, low, medium, and high. We use none for internal view. For external, we use low, medium, high accordingly, because in external we always see that some people are moving from point A to point B. In that case, it will make a ghost image. So we use low, medium, high accordingly to get rid of this thing. But for now, here in the window view, if I look at, I see a ghost effect of the cards over here because I have selected none, as we use none for the internal. But here we have to use some different setting because this is the thing happening here. So let's start using by low first of all. And yeah, it is somewhat sorted, but still we have to sort more. Let's go to medium, and then again high to see the difference of low, medium, and high. Okay, I think the low is the best one. With here some issues, I think let's go to the medium one. So medium is fine, but the problem is it is leaving a patch here. If I look at, see, low, medium, here we see the patch, and then high. In high we see the strong patch. For now I'm using the low because I don't want the patches over here. And let's click on here to see the deghost effect. Like here you can see small red thing that it has affected only this area. So for now this is okay. Now click on merge. So here is our HDR image. So in this image now we can see a couple of issues which need to be sorted out. Here we see alignment is not correct. If I zoom in, I see lots of grains which need to be sorted out. There is chromatic aberration, that purple color, that all need to be removed. This bottom side blacks are pretty heavy, and that we have to sort it out. We have to maintain the calmness in this image by equalizing the brightness overall. And as this is the white wall, we have to apply a suitable warmth. As this is white walls, we have to apply warmness on this image. So that all need to be done. Step 4 is lens correction. To do lens correction, we have to go to develop module first of all, then scroll down, and here in lens correction we have to switch on remove chromatic aberration and remove profile correction. Remove profile correction will remove vignetting from the corners, plus it will add up a slight brightness to the image, and it will also reduce the distortion by enabling the make modern profile by which this photo has been taken. If I zoom in here, if I switch on and off this thing, you can clearly see that it is removing the chromatic aberration, not 100% but some, which is pretty good. Now we have to scroll down we have to switch on constraint crop check on. This is going to crop all the white borders in this image, and now we have to press on auto, which is the priority, like first thing in our image which you have to do. So auto, if it gives a good alignment to the image, then it is good. If not, then we have to switch it off, and then we have to do manual corrections over here. So this all need to be done. I don't need manual correction because auto have given me a good alignment. So yeah, I'll move to the next step then. Step 5, tonal adjustment. To do tonal adjustment, we have to go to a basic panel. From here we see these adjustment which we have to do. We can clearly see that the adjustment has been already done because at the time of making HDR we have pressed on auto tone, which have given all these settings. So firstly we are going to make 0 vibrance and saturation 0, and then we have to manually adjust the image according to us. Like I said, the blacks is pretty high, so I'm removing blacks slightly and a bit of shadows, but don't remove too much of blacks and shadow from this image. Maybe you have to deal with grains later on. To see the before after window, we have to press Y to see before and after. Okay, this is nice that we have brought up the excess, we have removed excess black from this image. To disable this thing, the preview of before and after, we have to again press Y. So while doing these adjustments, we also apply brush and masking in order to balance overall lighting. Slight uh, brightness can be applied over here with the help of brush. So I'm using the masking from here and then taking the brush with slight exposure. And now we have to apply over here. But always see that your flow is supposed to be 40, feather 100 for smoothness, and density 100. To close the tool, we have to press done. Step 6, white and color balance. So here in this image, we see lots of colors everywhere and color balance need to be done. So for this, we have to take this white balance selector tool, and then we have to take casting from the white area. Like we can take from here, from the bed, because it's white, this is white. So casting always supposed to be done from the white area, but it is not like that we can pick any of the area. We just have to pick that area which have less brightness and less color added to it. So here in this panel you can see live that the colors are changing if I move my white balance selector tool. So we have to take a medium tone area which is here, I think. Let's take other one, looks very slight. Okay, I think here we see lots of blue, and here lots of red and a bit of yellow that need to be balanced up. To balance this slightly, we can go to the vibrance first of all, reduce slightly, and then here in the saturation panel slightly reduce yellow and a bit of red. Not much we have to remove, but slight, because if you remove too much, then we may end up by losing too much of color in this image. Step 7, final touch-ups, color and tone. So as I've told that this area have too much of blueness and this have more red, so this is what we have to balance. For this we have to take the masking again, here add the brush, and from here temperature, slightly increase temperature, reduce tint. so I don't get too much of redness. Now I'm going to apply over here where there is lots of blues. Again, but first done. Again, take the masking, add new brush. This time slightly saturation removal and then slight temperature with a bit of tint. Slight more. Looks good. Press done to complete the tool. Step 8. Maintaining consistency with same room images. To maintain the consistency, we have to go back and see the edited images which we have already edited. So this one, if we look at, like, this is looking pretty good in terms of editing. We have a clear window view over here. This one we have retained. We have slight warmness overall. There is no there is no graining in this image. It looks pretty white. So this is what we have to maintain. Let's see our image. So yeah, it is quite matching with this image. But the only thing is that the ceiling area here looks here have too much of colors. This we have to remove. And the window view here looks pretty good, but in this one we have lost some details. This is what we're going to bring back. So the problem which need to be fixed in Photoshop is that we're going to remove the excess color from here. We're going to get back the detail of the window. We will remove this extra yellow from here. Also we'll add up a bit of more brightness and we'll remove the noise from everywhere, and at last we will add a bit of sharpness to it. So step 9, exporting with right setting. To export this image, you have to right click on it, go to export and export. And we always have to see that the quality is supposed to be 100 and resolution is supposed to be 300, and then export. So here we have our exported image. Step 10, importing in Photoshop. To import in Photoshop, we have to select the image, then drag and press Alt Tab to go to Photoshop and drop it. Now the image has been imported in Photoshop. So here we see a bit of colors over here. There's lots of noise which need to be removed. This color need to be removed from here, as the bed color is this. We have to get some details out from the window. Here we see too much of grains that need to be removed, and a bit of purple line that also need to be removed. That's all need to be done. So let's start. Step 11, adjustment like brightness control, light weight adjustment, white balance, color balance, noise reduction, sharpness, if required, need to be done. So first of all, we will use brightness. So to apply the brightness, we have to go to here, brightness and contrast. We are going to slightly increase up the brightness and close it. We have to control I to invert it, because white is always for to reveal and black is to hide. So we're going to take the brush from the toolbar with 12 opacity, because we don't want patches behind, and flow is supposed to be 100. With white brush, we have to use it on selected areas where we think that the brightness still little less. switch on and off. Okay, this is pretty good. To merge both layers, we have to press right click on it on the above layer and merge down. Now light bleed adjustment. I think there is no light bleed in this image, so we will skip this one. White balance. So for the white balance, we have to, as I said, that we have to reduce extra colors. So to take the white balance, we have to take the copy of this layer, open curves by Control M. To take the casting from the mid tone of and from the white area, we have to press Control Shift and click to pick it up. Now check red is 194, green 193, blue 188. That means red is the highest value. We are going to copy this one, paste it onto green, then blue. Okay. To create the mask, press here, Control I to invert it. Again take the brush with opacity 12, flow 100. Now we are going to apply it. That's enough. Right click on the above layer, merge down. Color balance. Okay, for color balance, we are going to take again the copy of the layer, go to filter, camera filter. We're going to slightly apply the warmth, press OK, create the mask, Control I to invert. With the help of brush now, apply where we see a bit of cyan. Right click and merge down. Again create a duplicate of the layer, go to filter, camera filter, and this time we are going to reduce the color from here and here as well. So I'm reducing vibrance for now. I'm not using saturation because saturation somewhat makes image look desaturated. So I'm just reducing the intensity of the color with the help of vibrance. Press OK. Create the mask. Control I to invert. Take the brush and apply. Okay, you can see the effect is like gone. Let's put the opacity till 80 round. Okay, that's fine because we don't want to lose everything from here. Again, select the upper image, Control E to merge or right click, merge down. Next is noise reduction. To remove the noise, we have to take the copy of the layer, go to filter, camera filter, zoom in and go to details, increase the noise reduction, press OK. Okay, this works. That means now we are going to, okay, this works. Now we are going to create the mask, Control I to invert, take the brush with 12 opacity, or we can take like 20 for now because we are not applying the brightness, we're just removing noise. Okay. Control E or right click and merge down. Next is sharpness. Again, take the copy of the layer, go to filter, sharpen, unsharp mask. Amount supposed to be 170, radius 1, threshold 0. Press OK. To see the effect, switch on and off. Now again, we are not going to leave it overall. We are going to create the mask, Control I to invert. With the help of brush now, we are going to apply it selectively. We are going to apply more on wooden area so it has some more clarity onto it, because if we apply more sharpness to it, it will give us a crisp look. So okay, I've applied now. Right click and merge down or Control E. Step 12, item removal. So we can remove this item underneath the bed. What we can do, we can create a duplicate with the help of quick selection tool. We select the area and now click on the stamp tool. Press Alt to pick the area and stamp it. Uh, we have to increase the opacity by 100%. For rest path, what we can do, we can simply take the patch tool, click and create the mark and click and then drag it on some other area. So this is the simplest way by which we can do. Control E to merge. Step 13, self QA. To self QA, we have to again go to the image which we have edited before, this one. Let's go back to our Photoshop. Okay, I think it is quite good matching. I think we haven't brought up the window view over here. That is the only concern. And the second thing is we have to reduce more colors from it, especially from this area and from the wood too, to match it with it. Let's do it. To get the window first, we're going to take the copy of the layer, go to filter, camera filter, zoom in a bit, and go to basic, crop highlight, drop a bit of exposure, slight vibrance, and a little bit of tint, because we see lots of greens. We can do one thing, we can drop down and go to color mixer, and here hue, we have to change slight greens to yellows, and go to saturation, decrease of greens, light and yellow too, slight warm, slight exposure down, and control. That's all. Okay. Create mask, Control I to invert. To take the quick selection, we're going to go to again to the quick selection, select it. Now selecting it, Now we have to take the lasso tool, polygon and lasso tool, and we are going to maintain the selection by removing the extra part which quick selection has been taken, because we don't want our settings to get applied onto it, onto other parts, so selection is required. Now take the brush with 12 opacity and slightly brush out the areas which looks faded. This much is fine. We don't have to broad up too much of area, otherwise it looks pretty dark. This is fine. Control E to merge. Now we are going to adjust the color. Again, you have to take the copy of the layer, go to filter, camera filter. From here we are going to slightly decrease vibrance with a bit of tint. Okay. Create the mask layer, control I to invert. Take the selection with the help of quick selection. Lasso tool to adjust it. And now we are removing it, the colors. Control E to merge. Again, copy of the layer, go to filter, camera filter. This time I'm going to add up a bit of contrast to this image at last. The shadows are black up, a bit of contrast, a bit of whites. That's okay. Control E to merge. Now again we will check the image. I think it is fine, quite good. Now we are going to check the alignment of this image. To check the alignment, we have to take the copy of the layer by Control J, or we can drag and drop onto here to create a duplicate. Now press Control T and activate guides. I think verticals are quite good. Looks good. Let's merge the layer. And step 14 is resize. To resize this image, we have to go to image and image size. From here we have to lock the constraint proportion and write 2500 by 1667, but here we see 2 pixels down. So for this again we are going to unlock it and write it manually. Okay. Now this has been resized. Control S and save it. That's all we have to do. This is what we send to our clients. You guys have understood that how we can edit a white image, what can be done with what the steps are. Thanks for watching. Thank you very much.